What is happening, baby? Welcome back to the Huddle Chat Sports Network's very own fantasy football huddle. Today, we are actually getting started on our first of many regular season episodes. Today, we are going to be starting our weekly waiver wire episodes. And what a better place to start than right after the draft when you're what I like to call roster baiting, when you can't just stop looking at your team, you're second guessing some of those upside players you put on at the back of your bench. That's what we're going to be talking about today, heading into week one, those week one waiver wires. When you look at last season, Sam Laporta, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams all emerged in week one last year, and the people that were sleeping on them missed out on them when it came to that first waiver wire turn after the first games. So we're going to be talking about players you should add right now, some players you should stash, and some players you should keep an eye on when it comes to the waiver wire and the free agency in your league. Before we get started, if you need any fantasy football advice, whether you still have some drafts coming up or you need more videos like this, the waiver wire episodes, the stardom sit-em episodes that we have from week to week, or our live Sunday pregame kickoff show that we have at 9:30 Mountain Standard Time, 11:30 Eastern Time. You have the opportunity to check out all of those if you hit the subscriptions bar as well as the notifications bell, so you always know when new content is dropping when it's hot. That way you don't miss out on any information and you can hoist the trophy over those idiots in your fantasy football league this year. Also, make sure to smash that like button because you have no idea how much it helps. And check us out over on Spotify, our new platform where you can always get more convenient options for the show, whether you want to listen to while you're driving to work or when you're cleaning up the house, feeding the kids, whatever you do. Whenever you're doing what you got to do, you can listen to the Huddle Chat Sports Network. We got all that out of the way. Let's get the week one waiver wires out of the way. So without further ado, fill up your cup, roll something up, and let's get into the running back portion of the week one waiver wires. We're going to be starting off with Chuba Hubbard from the Carolina Panthers, looking at a 0 RB target. He's the perfect person that's going to be giving you the upside, that's going to be going late in drafts and most likely undrafted in most cases. He's going to be the lead back in this backfield until Jonathan Brooks is healthy. You're also going to be looking at, even then, when Jonathan Brooks comes back, Chuba Hubbard is going to be heavily involved in this offense for a long time. You also look at the offensive improvements, Bryce Young entering his second year, and the offensive line getting better. And the head coach multiple times this offseason has been quoted saying he wants to establish the run this year. Next player we're going to be adding directly into our fantasy lineups right now is going to be Ty Chandler from the Minnesota Vikings. You're going to start the season with Ty Chandler having standalone value. Then you also look at the fact that he has the upside that if Aaron Jones misses any time, Ty Chandler is going to be a big producer in that backfield and your fantasy football lineup. Aaron Jones has been shown to be at his best when he has another running back behind him, giving him that approach, that committee approach. And that's what gives Ty Chandler that standalone value as a handcuff running back, and then instantaneously jumping him up into a premier back if Aaron Jones misses any time in Minnesota. Last player we're going to be adding on the running back side of things immediately into your lineup is going to be Jordan Mason for the San Francisco 49ers. You're looking at Elijah Mitchell already losing his job going into the offseason or going into the regular season, and now Elijah Mitchell has been placed on injured reserve. There has been talk of reducing the work for Christian McCaffrey to extend the tread on the tires of Christian McCaffrey. Jordan Mason is not only the top handcuff going into week one, but with what we can see in week one, you may see him have standalone value early and often in your fantasy football drafts. Before we switch over to the wide receivers that you want to add right away to your lineups, want to make sure that we point you to the direction of our Discord, where you're going to get a free fantasy football community that you can join. You can have conversations with myself, with the community, stardom, sit-em advice, and more in-depth analysis than you get here on the episodes from week to week and from day to day. So make sure you hit up the Discord. Link will be in the description below. And we're going on into the pass catchers, the wide receivers that are going to be added into your lineups right away. Starting off with Khalil Shakir from the Buffalo Bills. He's a big weapon for Josh Allen last season, especially late in the season. There's 246 available targets in this offense now with the departure of Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. And you're looking at Khalil Shakir having the opportunity to be the number one option in this offense, which is a pass-first option and a pass-first offense. So you're going to be looking at Khalil Shakir getting some good volume this season, and volume is key, as we love to say here on the Huddle Chat Sports Network. The next wide receiver that we're going to be speaking of is going to be Rashid Shaheed from the New Orleans Saints, one of the team's most prolific playmakers and pass catchers and most talented wide receivers as well. You're also looking at the competition around Rashid Shaheed, and it's really just him and Chris Olave, really nothing much else around them target-wise. Rashid Shaheed had a 14% target share in this offense last year and had 17 yards per touch as they favored the deep ball. You're looking at him being able to have a lot more opportunity in the middle with some of the pass targets now adding to stretch the field. So you're allowing Rashid Shaheed to sit exactly where he wants to be and make some money. The last player we're going to be talking about as far as wide receivers that we're going to be adding immediately is going to be Josh Palmer from the Los Angeles Chargers. He's going to play every snap for this offense and may lead the team very easily in targets and target share. The volume may not be exactly what we want for Josh Palmer or many of the Los Angeles Chargers due to the decrease in offensive production from the quarterback play and the change in the offensive coordinator. However, this is still going to be a pass-heavy offense in the division that they're in. So you're looking at them also having the potential to be down in a lot of games and needing to come back. And Josh Palmer has got the most chemistry. He's going into his fourth year now in this offense. And like I said, the volume may not be what you want. However, getting more efficient targets from a better offensive line, a better protected Justin Herbert, is only going to benefit him for your fantasy football lineups. Taking Josh Palmer, you're getting yourself a nice solid flex option or even a wide receiver 4 in some of those deeper leagues. So make sure you're keeping an eye out for Josh Palmer. Going back into the running backs, these are going to be running backs that you want to stash on your roster or even just to keep an eye on over these next couple of weeks and really pay attention to in week 1 and make a move whether you want to or not. And let's see if we talk about them in our week 2 waiver wire episode. First one's going to be Jalen Wright. He's going to immediately see time if Raheem Mostert or Devon Achane misses any time in this Miami Dolphins offense. Jalen Wright, he is going into the beginning of this year a little bit hampered from some injuries and some nicks and bruises in the preseason. So it's making me not want to jump on Jalen Wright immediately like some of these other running backs we talked about. However, like I said, he may be one of the most premier handcuffs you can draft or pick up in your fantasy football leagues. Also, same story for Marshawn Lloyd, having the hamstring injury throughout the preseason going in for the Green Bay Packers. And I talked about it in some previous episodes, how the Packers like to force a running back by committee, and Marshawn Lloyd was drafted at that specific spot to be taken as the committee running back. They're not going to want to force an A.J. Dillon timeshare, and Josh Jacobs is most likely going to do it on his own for the first few weeks. However, you're looking at Marshawn Lloyd barely practicing throughout training camp, and when he is healthy, he may slowly get more involved in this offense, so I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on Marshawn Lloyd from the Green Bay Packers. Some wide receivers that we want to keep our eye on and potentially stash. Looking at Luke McCaffrey, he's a very interesting ad right now. The wide receiver 2 role in this Washington Commanders offense is wide open, and Luke McCaffrey played extremely well in the preseason. I'm also keeping my eyes on Josh Downs for the Indianapolis Colts. He was a favorite target for Anthony Richardson last season. You're looking at this Indianapolis Colts offense having a better offensive line, having a better wide receiver core than they did last year. And if Anthony Richardson can stay healthy, we all know the possibilities of what Anthony Richardson can do. And Josh Downs is going to be one of the main benefactors of that better play and healthy season from Anthony Richardson. Last player we're going to be paying attention to and potentially stashing on our bench is going to be Michael Wilson from the Arizona Cardinals. Zay Jones has been suspended, and you're looking at his 14% target share now being able to have the opportunity to increase. You're looking at Michael Wilson having 13 games last season, and when he boasted that 14% target share, and that was all with poor quarterback play. You're looking at Marvin Harrison Jr. going to be taking the brunt of the defensive attention. Trey McBride is also going to demand tons of attention from the defense, leaving Michael Wilson as the number 3 option with a lot of opportunity and a lot of potential field to work with. And that's why I'm keeping my eye on Michael Wilson. That's going to do it for today's waiver wire episode for week 1. And we are here and we are started officially, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Huddle Chat Sports Network's Fantasy Football Huddle. And make sure you always keep your chin up and your attitude down. And I'm going to see y'all next time. Peace out.